Again, not the correct names. I got to fix those up again. But we are back. Round 5 of the Pro Play Tour. Well, this is not the Pro Play Tour. This is the AnimeNEXT Pro Play Tour Nationals qualifier. Free tournament here. It's going to be very exciting to see these two players. We got a returning guest. We got Michael Walters here playing his Nekroz again. He's at table 2. His players are at table 2. Table 1 had the Salomon Great player last match. I didn't want to pick that back up again. So I decided to go with something a little bit different, Get to see the Nekroz back in action again. Players are getting ready to begin here. Excuse me. Walters is playing his Nekroz, like I said, and then his opponent here, William, is playing, he told me, quote, put it as 99% Yosenju. I don't know exactly what that entails, but it means we're only going to be seeing 1% less than 100 Yosenjus, I guess. Excuse me. Ooh. Got a Tanky. Going to add one of these Yosenjus to hand. Right off the bat there. Man, I keep sneezing.
I'm about to close your final round. Also have your standings going into the final round. Remember, no top cut. Standings only after this round.
All right, so we see some incantations coming down. We got the feather, got the talisman. Talisman's gonna be able to add ritual monster from deck to hand. Not a bad opening. Facing against forward back rows though, it's a little bit spooky. You gotta be very careful with what we're doing here. Gonna summon a Brio. Oh no, excuse me, pitch a Brio to add any Nekroz from his deck to his hand. He's going to add the Unicorn. Perhaps he has Kaleidoscope in hand here, which would be perfectly okay to combo. But Colossus is good enough. That's going to be able to get him into the Kaleidoscope, which he can then activate. Dump a Herald from the extra deck to add either a Ritual Spell or Trap from his deck to his hand. Ritual Spell or Ritual Monster from his deck to his hand. And summon that Unicorn out of his hand. So far, not triggering any of the trap cards in that back row. Oh, decides to go into Valkyrus. Prep of Rights coming down here. Gonna add a level 7 or lower from the deck to the hand, as well as the Kaleidoscope back from the graveyard.
Attention Magic players, we need one more for our next draft. Again, Magic players, War Spark draft, $15. We'll need one more player to fire our next draft.
Oh, Drowning Mirror Force. Both of those going back to deck. Wonder if all of those are battle traps now that he ran into a Drowning Mirror Force. A little bit scary. Didn't really expect that. I don't think Michael was expecting that either. He's going to reveal the Chalice Slime, pitch the Ben 10. That guy's going to be able to add, I think, a spell from his deck, a ritual spell. Yep, he's going to add the Incantation ritual spell. Probably going to be able to put that Chalice Slime on the board. Let's see what that Incantation does on the field here. It's an amazing in-hand effect. Incantation's effect on the field here, Chalice Slime. Read, you can send one Incantation card from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard and target one monster your opponent controls, pop it. You can only use one once per turn. But we're back at the Yosenju players. It's going to activate another Tenki to get Kama. I think that's 3. The other one's not a Kama, I believe. I think it's one of the support cards. Not bad. Kama's going to be able to activate, I believe, getting card from deck to hand. After it deals battle damage, I think. Lightning Chidori would be pretty sick to see in this matchup, but not very useful right at this moment. Might question something about Kama 3 there. I want to see what Kama 3 does.
Yellow Dead Days hand destruction. It puts you in a grave.
Yosenju Kama 3 reads, when it's normal summoned immediately, you can normal summon another one. And when another Yosenju control deals damage to your opponent, you can add 1 Yosenju card from your deck to your hand, except Kama 3. Got a cowboy coming down, dealing 800 burn damage. It's a lot of damage. Not actually, but it's an interesting choice. Pot of Extravagance going to be able to get him 2 cards. He's going to activate the Incantation Ritual spell, going to be able to summon that Chalice line chilling there in his hand. Or he could be pitching the Ritual spell off Chalice line's effect. That does look like that's what he's doing. Not facing down anything really too scary. Nothing that would throw me for a loop here. Gaga Cowboy, not too threatening. Actually, not threatening at all. I'll remove 800 from Mike's life points here. Talismandra, as well as the Will-O-Wisp. Coming from deck there. Could be able to add a spell. Choose to grab the Nekroz, cycle. Cycle's going to tribute off that Talismandra to summon the Brio, which Brio's going to bounce that Cowboy back as if it was never there. Mirror.
So we had U7, we had, I would say...
Banishing the book and a Colossus from graveyard. That equals, I think, 8. So he's going to be able to summon a Valkyrus from hand? Yes, sir. Valkyrus coming down. Tribute. 2 to draw 2 cards.
Definitely something that is not the best. As of right, Jam is one of those decks too, but it's that you go up against a
Activate the Kaleidoscope. Going to dump that Herald from the extra deck to be able to summon that Unicorn. The Herald's going to resolve 2. Get him another Ritual spell or a Ritual monster from deck to hand. Building up a pretty scary board here. At 800 damage from the Yosenju player, not looking like a lot. William couldn't really put too much into that.
That's why I fell out of love with the deck.
Shirt coming to hand. Good old Shirt off the ban list. Missed him. Great card. Incredible Yu-Gi-Oh card. Looks like we're going to start dealing some damage here.
Got a couple spots open up for our next War of the Spark Feature draft. Please sign up if you'd like to play. Also, if you have already signed up, please fill out
21 plus 28 plus 23, I believe, are all their values. It's 49. That's not quite game, but it's close. It's around 7,200. going to leave William at around 800 life points, not a lot left. He's got to be very careful. Got to hope for a good top deck. The third tanky getting flipped up. That's going to add comma 2 to hand, I believe that is. Now, Unicorn's going to be really helpful. Although I think that comma is the only card in William's hand. No, scratch that. He's got a couple cards in hand here. Not going to be able to lightning Nishidori or something like that to really flip the tables. William taking a look at that Unicorn. Unicorn negates all extra deck monster effects while it's face up on the field. Very good Yu-Gi-Oh card. Kama 3 coming down. Chain into Kama 1, 2. That's Kama 2, I believe. Kama 2 is going to be able to spin a card back to hand. He's going to bounce the Brio, which is a very interesting choice. Digging into his extra deck. Seems like it might have been an overlook. As anything he summons isn't really going to be able to do much. Eater of Millions coming out from the hand. That Eater of Millions without that Unicorn for sure now. Bouncing the Brio back to hand though. I don't know if that was a good choice though. Gonna XYZ summon in a Utopia and then in Utopia the Lightning. Yikes. Eater of the Millions gonna attack over that Unicorn. Make sure that this Utopia can get in for a lot of damage. It's going to attach it, make it a 5,000 attack guy over 28. It's going to deal 2,200 to Michael here. It's going to put him right down at 5,000. Although that was a lot of damage, I don't think it's going to stop a Trishula from coming down this turn here from Michael. Trishula right now. Oh, wait. Well, actually, William does not have a hand. I don't think that was a purposeful way to play around Trishula, but it is play around it nonetheless. Cycle. Coming from deck to hand here. Pitching the Brio that was added back to his hand. He's going to be able to search any Nekroz monster, add it to his hand. He's going to grab a Valkyris.
Ashcraft's Embrace sounds like an instant sorcery.
It really does. It's something like an Ashion, something like that.
Yeah, it's like Ashcraft's Embrace.
Holy Zap would really.
He's going to activate Cycle.
That's just him.
Took the Ash out of his hand, but decided to switch it up for the Shuret, which is probably a better choice. Some of that Brio back. That Brio is going to bounce those monsters. I think. Should.
Yeah. What if it was like it gave minus X to something, and if a creature we put in the graveyard that way, you search for any number of copies in the deck and exile. But like, I don't know, it might be expensive, but that'd be pretty cool.
Shadowboard.
Yeah.
But it's been easy on the stream. It's basically relaxed. You haven't really had anything to worry about.
Kaleidoscope coming down. Get rid of the Tatsunoko for a 3 to summon that Colossus.
I got up for that. I was like,
I got up for that. I walked away.
I'm out of here.
I believe Colossus sinks that to 0 attack to Utopia, which in turn will allow him to just attack over for game.
It's a card in Naruto. It's like it's a coin flip where either it bounces the card to your hand or it just discards it.
Well, I'm just making sure that is what the card does. I think that's what the card does.
So busted, 'cause
You normally don't see that card get summoned too often. You see it get pitched for a spell.
spell that, like, and you could always use it at any point.
I mentioned it to the guys on stream.
And there's game 1.
Like, what if Batarang had what if there was a Batarang in every color?
That was an interesting way to out the board. Keeping himself at such a low life total, the Yosenju player is not going to be able to do too much.
I think that balance is so much more.
If that was the
Now I
case,
can see players go into game 2,
I would have probably had the blue Batarang.
I think the blue Batarang should be good.
see what they decide.
Like the Batarang
set the life points here.
Still a one-cost spell. You're untapping mana, which is what blue wants to do, but it's not busted to where you're plussing on the mana. You're still negative, but it's still like a tap 2, untap 1. So give me like 5 seconds. And like red would be like a bad ring, and then -5k something. Because 5k isn't going to kill a lot of the. Oh look who's here! Look who's here! Look who's here! Danny Height.
It's like Michael's tossing out some of his
Throws open the double
Call of the Haunted there. Not Call of the Haunted, excuse. Call by the Graves. I'd get rid of the Ash Blossoms too. Oh, well, no, that stops tanky. That's not that bad, I guess. We see Awaking the Dragon getting sided out by William there. Saying it's probably not going to get popped anytime soon. Banished, maybe. Popped? I don't think so. Solemn Judgment, Storming Mirror Force, Necro Valley, all in the Yosenju deck.
Oh, no.
Yosenju's an interesting choice to pick. Both of these decks interesting, Nekroz and Yosenju. Again, at table 2.
Those guys right now are probably
You see evenly matches, Denko Seka's coming in
whirling in
from Michael. Best cards to probably side through this matchup, through any stun matchup. Just complete blowout.
so love that. Hopefully we see you guys at Otakon too. Otakon's at the end of his back. That's gonna be an awesome. That's gonna be an awesome convention, awesome event. And then also I think he's doing Richmond in July, and then they're doing Florida in September for the other 2 weeks. Anywho, I'm gonna go actually finish.
Players getting ready for game 2 here. Probably going to see William go first. Opt to go first.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same spot as Stan. There's a lot of trouble. The thing is, like, it's rough for me because I still need my invite.
Give like 5 or 10 minutes to hire that guy and then the tournament or wait for the bathroom.
Yellow Dende did not leave. It's back by the way.
I have to know. The undefeated guy.
I don't think Yellow Dende is the next deck, which is what I was saying before. It kind of feels like it replaces what Pan used to be, where it's the 5-5 deck, where you just have a 5-5 for everybody.
Haven't seen this matchup, or anything close to this actually. Several years. Haven't seen Yosenju played at all recently. William open up an Ash Blossom. Normally be very helpful. You see it evenly matched. Sided it in by William there. A little bit of a weird choice considering he's going first. Not something you would normally see. Might throw Michael for a loop here. Having 2 cards in the set back row though means he's going to be able to keep an additional card. I think a smart decision. Well, I was going to say a smart decision would have been to keep just one of them in the back row. Maybe not though. Pitch Brio. Going to be able to grab another Nekroz from deck to hand.
I'm still trying to figure out what I want to play for the tournament that shall not be named.
I mean, I got a sweatshirt already. I just got a rep. Maybe not.
Valkyries coming to hand. Gonna reveal the Unicorn to be able to summon the Talismandra from hand. Talismandra's gonna be able to let him summon the Feather from the deck there. Thinking if he wants to go with the Feather, probably the best choice. Maybe, maybe not.
Although, like I said, I'm pretty confident. It would be pretty fun.
Yep, Feathers coming to field. Brio back to hand. He's going to activate the Incantation Ritual, sacking off both of those to summon Nekroz of Valkyries. He's going to activate the effect of Nekroz of Valkyries. He's going to sack off what looks like an Ash Blossom plus something else, plus the Unicorn. Wants to draw 2 more cards, dig deeper into his deck, and he's going to attack with the Valkyries. And Battle Fader's going to come down, stop that Battle Phase. Really early time to activate that Battle Fader, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. He's got a Kaiju in his hand, a Lightning Strike Kaiju. Very interesting choice. I would hope to out those the pesky Unicorn if it was summoned. But I don't think it's going to be that good to slap it over a Valkyries.
I would feel like you would not want to give up the burst. The burst allowing you to get the super combos or players also freezing your yard. It's a lot better, I feel like.
See William going through his extra decks here, seeing what he can do. Definitely a lot of options he has now. Although Michael looks like he drew into another Ash Blossom. So if anything is going to be searched, not at all. Comma, I think that's one. Going to, I forget what that one's called. But they're just going to be used to make an XYZ, and he's going for Utopia. And stack it up. It's going to be able to attack over that Valkyris for 2,200 damage. Gotta put Michael there. Good. Michael's doing Twin Twister, those two pitching the cycle. Get him off the field. It's an evenly matched and another evenly matched. Not today. Looks like banishing the cycle from graveyard to be able to add another Nekroz ritual spell from his deck to his hand. Deciding which one to get. Mirror is going to be the go-to. Then he's going to pitch Colossus. Thinking about it. Maybe, maybe not. He is. He's going to pitch Colossus to add another Nekroz spell card from his deck to his hand. And he's going to go with the Kaleidoscope. Brio's going to get pitched. Just fixing up his hand here. Wants to make sure it's perfect to be able to Dunkaroo his opponent. Very important to note that his opponent is prime for the Trish, which is coming down. That Trish is going to be able to banish the Battle Fader card from his graveyard. Well, not the Battle Fader. He wants to keep the Battle Fader. Banish the Utopia. And then get rid of that last card in his hand, which was the Lightning Strike Kaiju. Huge swing play there. Trishul's coming down. Attack over the Battle Fader. Pass. William doesn't have a lot of cards in the hand. I think that might be his only one. Summons the comma one. Attacks. Yeah, sure. Doesn't even matter. I think it might go direct, but can't be sure. Michael just top decks the Pot of Extravagance. I wouldn't say not a bad top deck, you know. Put him farther ahead here. Offers the deck to his opponent to banish 6 random cards to draw 2. Just checking out what he banished. I'd imagine at this stage of the game, nothing too inconsequential. How much attack does Nekroz of Trishulus actually have?
I'm just chilling.
Ah, yes, 2,700. I was close. Assume Nekroz of Trish only had 28. But you see Talismandra plus the book. Talismandra's going to be able to add Nekroz monster from deck to hand. Looks like he's chilling with already a Kaleidoscope in hand, so maybe a Unicorn might be the way to go. I believe a Unicorn would really shut down the game. It's hard to say, though. If he banished any of his Heralds, it's not going to be able to summon that using the extra deck. Of course, he can over-tribute monsters, though. Not a big deal. He's got a lot of options, though. That's why I really like the Incantations. It add a whole new breath of life to these decks. But he actually chooses to go for the Chow Slime. Chow Slime's a really good card, too. Gonna get that Valkyris back to hand. Gonna reveal Chalice Slime, discarding the spell card for it. Again, I think it's called the Wisp out there. Gonna grab a cycle. They're gonna activate the Kaleidoscope, tribute it to summon the Valkyris. I think that might be enough damage, provided he doesn't have a Battle Fader. Has anybody? No damage has been dealt to William, though. So while this will be a lot of damage, may not be quite enough. Activate a prep. Get back his mirror. Grab a level 7 or lower from his deck. Goes to grab Brio. Not a bad option. Pitches the Brio. Goes to add Shirt. Add Shirt, but he doesn't have anything big in hand. But he can cycle something out, though. Not a big deal.
Yeah, no, that's the deck that's on my short list.
Oh boy, do I miss Nekroz format. This deck was crazy at its prime. Gonna pitch the Shirt, summon the Brio, activate the Shirt effect, grab a Warrior.
Yeah, I know. I posted it.
Grabs the Colossus,
I sent it in an email.
and then activates the Mirror. Summons that Colossus. Attacks with everything, and that is game. Michael takes the 2-0 over William Kokith. Michael is now, what is he? He's 5-0 in the tournament. Don't go anywhere, though. We're going into round 6, our last and final round of the tournament. I'll be sure to get table 1 for you guys. Check out how they do. Again, don't go anywhere. This is Pro Play Games. AnimeNEXT. This is the Pro Play Tour National Championship Qualifier. Catch you guys in a minute.